Okay, today we're going to focus on solving your trig functions using a calculator. So the first one we have, our first thing you need to do is make sure that you're in degree mode. So you're going to put in your calculator sine of 90 equals, and if it equals 1, then you're in degrees. If it's not, then you need to set your calculator to degree mode, and it's either degree or radian, and you want to be in the degree mode. So we're going to solve our first one by just putting in sine of 25 equals, and I would round to the nearest hundredth, so this is 0.42. This is 0.422, so my answer is about 42 hundredths. Then I'm going to put cosine of 2 equals 0.999, so it's about 1. It's going to round up. Tangent of 41 is about 80, it's going to round up to 87 hundredths. And when I do number 4, so I must set it up as a proportion, the sine of 14 equals 8 over x. I put it over 1 to set it up as a proportion, and then I do something called the fish hook. I take opposite, I look at my problem opposite the x. So I start at my 8, I multiply here, and then I divide here, and then that'll give me the answer of an x. So I'm going to take 8 times 1, which is 8, and then I divide by the sine of 14, and there's my fish hook. So in my calculator, I'm going to put in 8 divided by sine of 14, and I don't have to times it by 1. That's why I skipped that step. So 8 times 1 equals 8, divided by sine of 14. And that would equal, x equals 33 and looks like 7 hundredths. So number 5, I'm going to set it up as the cosine of 30 equals x over 15. And I put it over 1. And again, I'm going to fish hook, so I start opposite the x, so I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to fish hook here and divide by 1. So 15 times the cosine of 30 divided by 1. So I'm going to draw my little fish hook like that. So x will equal 15 times cosine of 30, which is 12.99 or 12 and 99 hundredths. I'm not going to divide by 1 because that's not going to change my answer. And then I go to number 6, and I would say the cosine of x equals 4 over 18. I'm not going to fish hook here because, as if you can, or if you pay attention here, typically we knew what the angle measure was. Here we don't know the angle measure, so we have to do the inverse operation when we enter it in our calculator. So the cosine of inverse cosine of 1, or I'm sorry, the inverse cosine times 4 over 18 equals x. So my calculator, I have to hit the second key to get in my inverse cosine, and then I just type in 4 divided by 18, and my answer, x equals 77 and 16 hundredths. Okay, so now your homework from yesterday, we're going to set it up, and I'm going to do the first 3 problems with you. So I'm going to make that a proportion, and I'm going to fish hook it. So I'm going to start with 8, multiply by 1, and divide by sine of 21. So 8 times 1 divided by a sine of 21 equals 22 and 32 hundredths. Number 2, I'm going to make it a proportion again, and I do that because I know what the angle measure is. So these 2 I knew the angle measure, so I make it a proportion and do the fish hook. So I'm going to fish hook here, so I start at the 18, go up and around. So my calculator, I'm going to put 18 times the cosine of 33 equals 15, and it's 0 or 0.096, so I'm going to round to the nearest hundredth, and that's going to be 15.1. About. It's an estimate. Okay, here we have the tangent of x. So here I do not know what x is, so I have to do the inverse tangent. So I'd write the inverse tangent of 17 over 13 equals x. So on my calculator I'm going to put inverse tangent 17 divided by 13. And x equals 52 and 59/100. And then you're going to finish your homework for the day. And keep doing the rest of the problems, figuring out what that proportion actually equals.